Guys, we've had 4 episodes. This is our 5th episode, and like we promised on the last episode, we're going to talk about landlord insurance
and renters insurance.
And renters insurance, all right? Diana.
Yes, Aaron.
Wow, that sounded weird. We have a special guest today.
We do. He's the first guest.
He's part of one of the largest real estate companies here in Yuma, and he's a property manager. What does a property manager do? He manages properties. So with us today, guys, Robert Tuggle.
Woo! Welcome.
Welcome, Rob.
Hey, you kind of have to help me lift the chair. They're gonna cut this part out, obviously.
Okay.
I have to
Yeah.
lift my own chair up
Yeah.
when I'm on this
We're gonna cut this part out.
syndicated talk show.
It is.
And this is Robert, the Lord of the Land.
Landlord.
The landlord. And we shall crown the landlord.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Bow. Bow.
Bow down to your king.
So this is one of the biggest property managers in Yuma. Do you mind telling us, Robert, what you do for a profession? And
Yeah, so I am a licensed real estate broker here at the Realty Agency, and my primary focus is on residential property management. We
homes.
manage single-family homes, manufactured homes, apartment complexes, trailer parks. We kind of do it all when it comes to residential management.
So basically what you do is you deal with people that want to rent their properties out, and
Correct.
you deal with the tenants that rent the
Yeah.
homes from me.
We are hired by landlords or property owners. All right,
Lord.
so they are the real lords of the land. They hire us to.
You're like Robin Hood?
That was just a bit of a lark, Little John.
What?
This one almost had my name on it, didn't it?
Yeah!
No, not even close.
It's like Lord of the Rings.
Has anything to do with
okay.
that.
The keys.
Anyways, so they hire us to manage their investment, advertise the home, screen the tenants, sign the leases, collect the rent, inspect the properties, everything involved with a rental property. We step in, so the landlord doesn't have that headache, and
So you deal with that.
we
all
deal
that.
with that.
So would you recommend the tenants to get a renter's policy?
Yes, so it's highly recommended to all of our renters. It's not required in the state of Arizona. It's not required by our company. I do have specific landlords that will require that of their tenants. But it's highly recommended. When we sign a lease, it's listed in a couple different
Now,
places.
these people that require their tenants to have it, why would you think they want that type of coverage for the people?
There's some landlords have a misconception, I think, of renters insurance. They feel like, say, if the house burned down or something like that.
That they think the renter's insurance is going to pay for it. Wow.
Which
Okay.
it doesn't, correct?
Okay. No, it doesn't. It
Right.
just protects the renter's
But
property.
I believe there, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but do some renters policies have some liability? Say the tenant has a dog, that dog bites somebody on the property.
Exactly. And we have a lot of people that call us and say, hey, I need pet insurance. We're like, well, we do offer pet insurance, but what they're looking for is the people that are going to rent from the landlord is asking them, because they have a certain type of dog, to have a liability coverage. So what they need is a renter's insurance to have liability coverage in case that dog or that cat or that gerbil, whatever type of animal, anaconda, if it creates damage, to some other person, they'll have a liability coverage. So it's not called pet insurance, guys. It's
Now, what if the pet damages the house?
well, that would probably be something
No
you have.
coverage?
Yeah, probably
No.
something you have
That
to
would
deal
probably
with.
be like
We
in the
can't tap
security
into
deposit.
That's something you're gonna have to deal with, Robert.
Okay.
Now, on the other hand, do a lot of the landlords you deal with, do they buy landlord insurance to protect their properties?
All of them do. All of them do. Jumping back though, real quick on the renter's insurance, why it's important, why we stress it upon our tenants is, I think you may have even touched on this. If the house burns down, the tenant loses everything. They are not covered by our owner's policy, so they're at a full loss. Say it's not as extreme as a fire, but the water line breaks and floods and they lose some electronics or different stuff. Again, they're not covered.
Because it's their personal property.
Yep. If
It
there's
has
a break,
nothing to do with the
that's right.
landlord. with a
There's
homeowner.
a break-in in the home and they get belongings stolen. Once again, they're not covered by the policies that the landlords carry. I do have a question for you.
Ooh, question from Robert. Wow.
This is a scenario
Q&A
that
with Robert.
comes up a couple times, and a tenant asked me over the weekend if her renter's insurance would cover it. So their refrigerator went out.
Okay.
And as it always does, appliances, ACs, they go out at 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon when we have a little bit more difficulty getting someone out. So over the course of the weekend, they lost all the groceries that they bought. Ooh. Is that something that's covered under a renter's policy?
I don't. That wouldn't be under personal property. Once again, does the refrigerator belong to who?
The refrigerator belongs to the landlord, but the contents inside the refrigerator.
Yeah, I mean the renter's policy would be like not.
Okay.
Yeah, because
just a question.
No, but it's a good question because we're going back to this. Now the refrigerator belongs to the homeowner, the landlord. His policy should have those type of items: the stove, the refrigerator, any appliances that he has in there. That should be added to his landlord policy.
Yeah.
If the refrigerator belonged to the renter, well then the electronics, the appliances would belong under the renter's policy. So that's why as a landlord, as a renter, you got to see what you're going to bring into that home and have the right coverages for those type of appliances as long as the dwelling and the personal property. And like you spoke of, liability has to do a lot with it. If a landlord has a swimming pool in the back, they might want to have a higher liability limit. If you're a renter and you're renting a house or a property that has a swimming pool, you might want to have a higher liability limit. So these are good coverages to talk to with your insurance agent. Go over these type of coverages, these type of protections that are available as the landlord and as a renter. And like Robert said, he recommends it. It's not an obligation or it's not required like you said. But it's really, really in your best interest to have these type of protections, both as a property owner and as a renter.
And again, you'd rather be safe than sorry in case something does happen.
Yeah, correct, exactly. So, Robert, we're going to thank you for being with us today.
I did have a great scenario.
Oh,
ooh, it's story time, you guys.
No, we're going to call it scenario time with Robert.
So, the importance of a owner, the landlord, the lord of the land, having the proper policy.
You really like saying that, huh?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's a new title now.
Proper policy on their home, not just a general homeowner's insurance, if you want to call it that. So, couple scenarios actually. So the most recent one is I had an owner. He has a 3-unit apartment complex.
Okay.
And 1 unit completely burned to the ground.
Wow.
I mean, they ended up taking the house to the foundation and rebuilt it.
Wow.
He had an excellent policy that, number one, covered the entire rebuild. He got a brand new unit. But as you can imagine, that took, I think it would end up being about 10 or 11 months.
So we're talking about loss of rent.
He had loss of rents coverage, so that entire time the insurance company still cut him a check every month for the rents that he was missing
Which is
out on.
something that he
is very important because he still has he has a mortgage on this property. It's not paid in full, and so he still the bank still wants their mortgage every month, and so he was really set up in a good position. And
that's excellent coverage, excellent protection. I'm glad that whoever his insurance agent was that they went over these coverages for him and then included that type of protection. We have a lot of people out there that actually are homeowners and that they never go out and get a landlord policy and they rent that property out. This is not a good idea, guys, because if you ever have a claim, the insurance company is going to probably frown on paying out whatever claim you have. If you're actually having a homeowner's policy on a policy that should be a landlord policy. So make sure, like I said, if you're trying to do business, you're doing commercial business with your properties, of course talk to a property manager, okay? And of course talk to your insurance agent so they can advise you on the type of protection you need for your home, your property, your investments. Robert, thank you very much. We appreciate it. First guest. Episode 5.
Honored.
We're going to be putting Robert's information down on the bio so you guys can talk to him, ask any questions that you may have if you want to go ahead and put your property up
for rent or want to rent a property. Talk to Robert. Once again, guys, this is episode 5. Episode 6 we're working on half a pack, 6-pack. We're gonna be getting that out to you next week. If you guys have any questions, reach out to us at 928-783-1000 or staff.vguzman@farmersagency.com.
Like us on Facebook.
At the Valentin Guzman Agency. Reach me at Insured with Rubio anytime. Message me. Anything you guys need, any questions, any comments, let us know, guys.
Is there any way not to get a hold of you guys?
Yeah.
Got everything
You can even try to drone. A drone?
Drone?
Yeah, drone. That'd be cool.
Drone us. Okay. All right, guys. See you guys next week. Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye.